There it is.
Yo.
Hijacking Joe's vlog today. Where we headed to right now?
Well, we headed Phantasy Kolors, Brian's shop, my boy Brian. To go see my car, man. My car finally just got painted, you know that. So, gonna see the paint for the first time. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Brian didn't want to show me the paint and pictures or whatever. I mean, of course, I picked the paint, I did everything, but Brian customized it. He did a lot of stuff to it, and also we did a particular finish that was a little different than most people would do. But yeah, today we're gonna reveal the color. We're gonna go to Brian's shop. We're gonna check out Phantasy Kolors, like I said. We're gonna see the car. Also check out some of his cars. But more so, we here just to get the car, get it on transport. The transport's gonna come pick it up in a few hours, and send it back to Jersey so we could get it ready for the build. Man, we're only a few weeks away, bro. Brian, bro, you lucky you my boy, cause I don't do this, bringing parts through the airport. Yeah, I'm giving Brian a set of Morimoto taillights, the new taillights for the 993. So he better thank me for this.
That's a fact. You better thank him.
Yeah.
So we are here. It's a nice sunny day. This is actually perfect weather. This feels so good right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, finally at Phantasy Kolors. Finally at Brian's shop, man.
Phantasy Kolors, there you go.
Yo, good peoples, man. I don't know if anybody's on the West Coast that heard of Phantasy Kolors, but out in Snohomish, where they further up north from Seattle, is Brian's shop, and his team is phenomenal. He does a lot of SEMA builds, a lot of paint for a lot of builds that you've seen at SEMA. So if anybody's in the Seattle area or even outside of that wants a sick paint job, Phantasy Kolors, man. Phantasy Kolors.
There it is.
Yo.
Holy crap. Way different than what the last paint that I showed you.
The white wheels.
Well, you get a feel of what it looks like.
Holy.
Man, it turned out good, right?
Yeah.
See how much it changes just walking around it, though?
Yeah, you can see like all the
different pearls and metallics.
Yo.
Check out that lawnmower over there, though.
Right?
Check out that lawnmower. You check out that custom lawnmower?
Run through all these cars real quick.
Yeah, so some of these cars are Brian's personal cars, except this one. This is one of his customers' cars. This car has been in SEMA, is going to SEMA again. That's pretty cool. Liberty Walk NSX. This right here is Brian's Samurai that he purchased off of somebody else. So Brian's redoing this whole car. It's going to be a whole different color, full color change. And you guys are going to see this at SEMA this year. Brian's personal 997 Turbo. This car's going to get RWB'd in October, right before SEMA. This car's also going to be in SEMA. This is clean. This is 1,200 horsepower, low mileage. He said 1275, my bad. But low mileage is like 23,000 miles. The car is freaking immaculate. Amazing car. This is going to get RWB'd in October. I'm going to be at that build. This is pretty sick. The color he's doing, Brian, can I say the color? It's fine, right? Yeah, so he's doing Tiffany. You can already see it on the roll cage in there. One of the cool things is that it's on air, but I love the way that Brian did his air setup on this because it's a very custom setup. 2 NOS tanks in the back. Brian cut welded it into basically air tanks. and ran some hard lines. So that's pretty unique and looks sick. It fits right into the whole build. So I can't wait to see when this RWB is done. Next one next to it is Brian's 993 cab. This is gonna get RWB. That has an RWB kit on the way. Anybody's interested, low mileage, I think it's like 60,000 miles on this car. Cab, manual, it's on air suspension, pretty sick. Then you got Brian's R8. This is a R8, the V10 R8 Plus. Well, this is a V10 Plus, which is all-wheel drive R8. Used to be owned by TJ Hunt. Since then, after TJ Hunt's ownership, it went to Sheepy Race, got a Sheepy Race twin turbo kit. How much horsepower is making now, Brian? 1,100 horsepower. This car is absolutely for sale. There's some offers on it right now. If you guys are seeing this right now and you guys really want to buy this car, make an offer to Brian as soon as you can, because somebody might be snatching it up. But it's on HRE wheels, which is sick. Like I said, twin turbo Sheepy kit, full carbon out aero stuff on it. V10 Plus, as I mentioned, which is all-wheel drive. But let me talk about my car real quick. So, backstory, as you guys remember, I sold my first build to Porsche Inglewood, had seller's remorse. I've been good friends with Brian for a while now, ever since I got on this list. And as you can see, Brian has multiple cars that's gonna get RWB. This was actually one of them. You know, I told him, listen, I kind of regret selling the RWB. I didn't get to finish it. It was one of my bucket list cars to do. And Brian was like, hey man, I'll offer you one of the cars. And initially he tried to offer me the drop top. I'm not a drop top guy. I was like, no. But then he's like, all right, I'll give you the coupe. I'll give you the coupe. So I was like, all right, cool. So we worked it out. Everything went great, man. And listen, man, it was already here. I wanted Brian. I always wanted a paint job by Brian because his work is phenomenal. So the car was already here. This is my first time seeing it since I purchased it. But it was before SEMA of last year, right? Yeah.
Purchased it,
Like August, like September, bro.
yeah.
Because we was at SEMA.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was before SEMA. Yeah, so before SEMA last year, I purchased this. I just kept it under wraps. I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want to get people hyped and people asking me questions. When is the build? When is the build? Because I didn't know when the build was going to be. So in the meantime, Brian was prepping his car, doing everything. We finalized on the color. First of all, shout outs to Phantasy Kolors and Brian and his team. Amazing job. And also shout outs to BASF because BASF and Phantasy Kolors sponsored me on this color change, which I can't even emphasize, which is crazy to me. Originally, the car was black. I was going to keep it black just like the other car, but I was just going to do a whole different trim, different scheme on it. And they gave me the opportunity, and I can't even begin to even thank and appreciate them for even giving me that. So I'm going to give you guys a quick backstory of how we even got here. Aside from BASF and also Phantasy Kolors, them hooking us up with this amazing color change and a soul paint job as a sponsor. Viola Purple Metallic has always been one of my favorite PTS colors. And I was like, you know what? I want to do that. I was like, let's do that. But Brian, because Brian is so unconventional, he's so out the box, Brian was like, nah, let's take that color and let's do something crazy with it. But before I could go into this, I think Brian's going to explain it better as far as the stuff that was done to this, because a lot of stuff, it was a lot that went into this, making this happen. So bring Brian in. Brian, you got to tell him.
So basically, we did probably about 40, 50 spray outs. Sending back and forth through the foam, which is more difficult than I think either of us.
But thank you for being patient with that, because that was
exactly.
How did we even get from that?
So basically, on this, start off with what you wanted, and then we added a bunch of more pearls to it. So we have blue, we have purple, we have 3 different kind of purples, we have a red, we have a pink. We have the violet in there. So I mean, I've had people call it the unicorn color, but a lot of pearls went into it, and then a lot of metallics to give this a change. I mean, with the different settings of the lights, then it changes. Pretty dramatic. I mean, you see the pieces inside the other shop are way different under a different lighting than this. So, I mean, it went to a lot of mixing. I mean, I just remember so many cups of just mixing and showing you, and you're like, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it definitely is unique. I haven't seen it out in the sun yet.
You guys nailed it.
So we have no idea how it looks out in the sun. We have no idea how it's going to look at SEMA because their lights are different. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely one unique color. It's one off.
If you guys take pictures of this car when you see it in person, everybody's pictures that they're going to post online is going to look different. I guarantee it. It's just one of those colors that just does something unique, which is awesome.
Yeah, it took about 2 months for us to get the color right.
But
just to find the exact one.
You got to talk about the crazy part of how you threw the last part of this at me.
The matte clear. Yeah, I think you were always going with a gloss clear. the whole
Yeah.
time. But then the last minute, I was like, hey, I think we should definitely go with a matte clear. I had no idea what it looked like. It's kind of like the same thing I did on my RWB when I did Tiffany Blue. It was a gamble because none of us knew what it was going to look like. And then finally did it, got BSF on board, and, pretty much went with it. And I mean, it did something obviously unique.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to twist your arm a little bit to get you to do it.
No, he did. I mean, because it's not a common thing. Most cars you see is gloss, right? And everybody just so used to that. So it's like you kind of have to like tweak your brain to accept the fact that it's not going to be a gloss car. So I sat at home. I thought about it. I reached out to my fellow peers. I asked my wife. I asked my friends about it. Roscoe, you was one of them. And I was like, yo, what do you think? I was like, you guys are like my panel of like decision makers or whatever. What do you guys think? And everybody immediately was like, do the matte. They was like, do the matte.
Yeah, I think the hardest part of the whole thing was you're not being here. Because even I convinced myself sometimes, like, oh, this isn't the color. It's too pink, or, it's too purple, or, with someone not being here to be able to see the sprouts plus see the matte clear over top, I think that's right there. That was a big challenge in itself because I was overthinking a lot. And then when you were like, just go with it. I mean, I knew I liked the color, but you're trying to decide, are you?
I got to live with it. I got to
like the color, so that was the main thing.
Well, listen, Brian was patient enough to do that. But one thing he told me, he was like, I'm not letting you see what this car looks like. You have to come out here when it's done. That's the part of the deal. He's like, I could do the pictures thing with you to pick the color. But he was like, you gotta be out here. So that's why I'm out here. And I'm happy that I came out here to come see this because this looks
it was done. It was done for like 6 or 7 weeks before you finally just now seeing the color. I knew that what you see with pictures isn't what it's going to look like in person. So
Oh no.
I knew that you had to wait. So that was hard because I wanted to post.
Yeah.
But
I want to give a big shout out because I have several sponsors on this car right now that's taking in. We have Toyo sponsored us for the tires on all 3 builds. BASF, as I mentioned, with the paint job. Phantasy Kolors, phenomenal team. R1 Concept Brakes, that's another one. Tarot Engineering, they hooking me up with some suspension components. Army Tricks with the exhaust. As you guys know, as I'm installing parts, because I have, like I mentioned, I have parts to install on this car. As I'm along the way doing stuff, I'm going to be talking about them because I'm going to try to do in-depth videos with everything that I'm doing. And also, one of the biggest other sponsors is Rodney, Evil 61, man. As you guys know, I always did wheels with him. And he did full custom wheels on all 3 cars. You guys already seen the wheels, what it looked like on the black car, which is the first car I sold. Wait till you see what's coming on this and also what's coming on this, which is very soon. But yeah, man, once again, shout out to the sponsors, man. This car will be in SEMA. It'll be right next to the 997 Turbo and also next to the first build. There's going to be 3 cars in one booth at R1 Brakes booth, which is R1 sponsored all 3 of our cars for brakes. It's going to be right in Central Hall. So all you guys who can't see this car in person, who are going to be at SEMA, you're going to see all 3 cars. You're going to see this, you're going to see the 997 Turbo, and you're going to see the first 993 that I was building that's with Porsche Inglewood. So it's sick. You're going to see all 3 cars, all newly built RWBs that's going to be at SEMA. I'm stoked, man. Brian, once again, man, I can't even emphasize to you how much I appreciate you, man. I know we talk shit, we go back and forth like brothers. I mess with him, we poke fun at each other. But damn, man, he treated me like family from day one. Even as a customer, he still treated me like family. He took care of me and he went above and beyond. And he goes above and beyond with all his work. That's why it's a wait list to get with this guy. So for him to even be able to do this was awesome, man. Especially in the limited time that we have because the build is like 6 weeks away. Yeah, so guys, I really appreciate y'all tuning in. Once again, I'm gonna see y'all back on the other side. Can't wait to start putting this together. We got a lot of parts to put on. We got interior stuff to do. We got the brakes. We got suspension stuff to do.
all in the 6 weeks window, probably 5 weeks by the time the transport gets this car over there. But once again, thanks for tuning in.